Did you just call my hero a junk pile?
No, and her skin is loose on her.
What?
Well, like a badger. They have like loose skin, so that if something bites them, they can wriggle out of it.
Incorrect.
Welcome back, everybody, to the start of a new planet in the My Galactic Empire mode of Age of Wonders Planetfall. We are playing as the Galactic Empire the Builders. We're rebuilding after the fall of the Star Union. It originally started with just our Devar here, Degracian Mountain Mover. But as we explore worlds and conquer new areas, we're going to fold other races and groups and secret techs and all sorts of other stuff into our empire because we're not interested in cleansing, we're interested in rebuilding. So we're going to be drawing everyone together. So I like to have a headcanon for why each group sort of joins up, and I find that kind of helps steer me when I'm building the empire, when I'm playing the game, to kind of have like a theme in my head of what that group is working on and how they fit into the Builders Galactic Empire. So let's just do a quick rundown of what we've done so far. We started with Spirit Rise, the planet of the penguins, and we did unlock the taxidermied penguin lord from here. And then we did Melt Core, where we folded in the Kirko, Kirko Celestians here. So we had a lot of punch boys, fiery punch boys that we brought in, but we didn't get any really cool unlocks or anything from that. In our Hall of Heroes, we just have these two. I know I can make a bunch at the beginning, but I'm more interested in sort of organically coming up with them as I go. I'm just not sure what I want to do, like way ahead of time, so I'd rather wait. Progression, you can see it sorts it by how high of level they are. So you can see Devar is our highest one. So we've unlocked a few cool things from there. Celestian, Void Tech, and Kirka are obviously quite high. And then we've managed to, without actually playing Synthesis, get it up to level 2 somehow. And even though we played Kirka, we only got to level 2, which is a little strange. Devar, we got up to level 4 already. I'm not sure how we did that so quickly. So we have a few options here unlocked, but we can certainly get a lot more. There's definitely going to be some exciting combinations we can get further down the line. And not just from the races and secret techs, we can also get those from the reliquary. Now, I've only unlocked a single item so far, the taxidermied penguin lord from Spirit Rise, the planet of the dire penguins. But you can see there's a lot of these, actually, and each one of these gives you access to some really cool stuff that you can't normally play with in the regular game, in the campaigns, and in the custom games, unless, of course, you're gifted with one as a unit reward, or you pick one up randomly or something like that. But we can choose to bring them into missions if we have these reliquaries. And spoiler alert, we're going to be doing that with this taxidermied penguin lord item, and I'll show you what we're going to be doing. So we're going to go into Conquer New World. We have several options here. We have Zitharae, Complexity Medium. I'm probably interested most in doing one that has one of these reliquary items. So here's the mycelial infestation. So there'll be common mycelial spawners. They'll make powerful armies. They'll act as spore hazards, but we'll get the giant mycelial hub as a reward. So let me just check these other two planets. Now, here we have one that unlocks the Chaos Oracle and the Entropic Casket for Forgotten. And then here's one that doesn't have one. So honestly, I'm not super interested in doing this one. It's also the easiest one, so that seems not as interesting for sure. So it's going to be between Pessimd, which has 2, which is pretty exciting, but I'm more interested in this mycelial one. So I'm thinking I might go with this one. Now let's take a look at the rest of the traits of this planet. Viral bombed, biochemical hazards are common. These mycelial ones act as biochemical, the spore hazard problems in sectors. So we've already got kind of doubled up on that. Disputed claim. There are 2 Devar consortia present on this world. These Devar have each brought additional forces, and the war between them seems inevitable. So there's going to be like 2 big Devar factions that are going to be fighting each other, which is very interesting. So we can try to make friends with one and end up enemies with the other, but hopefully not enemies with both, or we'll be in big trouble. And if they end up liking each other, I think the planet's going to be in big trouble. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Secondary objectives, we have clean and rebuild. Removing hazards gets us renown, which is good because there's going to be lots of them. Recover samples. Mycelian spawners destroyed gives me imperial renown and experience for Xenoplague. And settle the claim. Forge an alliance with both Devar for a massive imperial renown and experience boost, which will trigger a victory condition. Interesting. So if we can bring them together as at least not necessarily allies or friends, but at least stop them from going to war long enough for us to be friends with them, we can actually win and get a whole bunch of Imperial Renown. That's very interesting. I wonder if that'll be possible. So over here, I'm not going to change any of these settings. 7 players, game intensity, all this stuff. We're going to leave this the same because the game is going to get harder on its own for each time we do a planet, and the complexity goes up. It'll make this multiplier higher and higher based on how many things there are in here that'll make it difficult. So I'm going to leave this normal and then let the difficulty ramp up on its own. So let's head on over to select commander. So let's go to recruit new hero. So what I'm interested in doing here is actually a assembly Scinumbra. And let me go ahead and pick the background really quickly. Party animal, unproductive. We lose 10% production. I'm not interested in that one. I'll probably go with my good old kleptomaniac, because that's a great one. Assault vehicle or support vehicle? Let me go with an assault vehicle. I do like the vehicles. Maybe I'll give this person just a ranged build, actually. Let's just do the Scinumbra assault equipment. Data repository for 2 free techs, which I really like. And then let's do secret tech or covert. Let's do secret tech because I have a plan for this character. I have a plan. So that spends all of our points. So let's head on over into the customization. Now I want to make a female character. I do have 2 males already in my empire, so I want to add some variety in, both with the factions, the secret techs, and the look of them. So we're going to be customizing here, and I love the that helmet is funny. I love the look of the assembly units, how they're sort of like cyborg punk, zombie punk almost. So I just like to get a kind of a feel, you know, like a jumping off point. But so for customizing this character, I am actually going to be bringing in a special guest. My wife Annie is going to be customizing this character for me and giving her a name. Okay, so we're back with our special guest Annie.
Hello. There's a lot to edit here. Posture.
Oh yes, very important. It gives off an important like theme of how your character feels.
Okay, I need to choose her. Oh, oh, that looks cool. I like how she looks old right now.
Yeah, the assembly are really cool. They use both mechanical and biological things. They just take anything they can and they build their bodies out of them, so they have like a sort of a zombie cyberpunk junk look to them.
Oh.
She has like a gold face mask on, or copper maybe.
Hey, can you excuse me?
What's going on? Why
That
are
is
cats screaming in the background?
Sad. She doesn't have eyebrows.
Doesn't have eyebrows? Yeah, eyebrows seem like...
A ponytail.
If you're collecting parts to form a body, I'd imagine eyebrows would be one of the last things you'd probably worry about, but I guess I don't know. Maybe eyebrows are really important to her. And if it helps your customization, and you don't have to go this way, but she's part of Scinumbra, which uses like sadness for their enemies and brings in like creatures from the void.
Okay.
So she might be a total edgelord. I'm not sure.
Fully armored old woman.
Okay. With very little biological body. Just like a head. She's seen some shit, hasn't she?
It's so cool.
She's getting sharper and more metally. And presumably heavier.
A unicorn horn?
Yeah, but it's made of metal.
I don't know.
She's like a robot unicorn. Oh my god.
I don't like
mohawk.
these. They're a little too much for me.
No, they're cool. Look at that one.
I don't actually want any of these.
You don't want any?
No. What did I end up with? The ear? No, I think this is nothing. Okay. Do I actually want these hands? Maybe I just want more simple.
Are you getting sort of a feel of her personality from this customization? I like to kind of feel that out as I go. How is she? What is she like?
She's an old lady who's been here since very early.
Okay.
And
so she was already on this planet. She's not necessarily arriving. Well, I guess the planet, this game is about landing and making Planetfall, but we could say she was always here and they woke her up to command the faction.
Yeah, she's extremely knowledgeable.
Okay. They find her in a junk pile or something?
Did you just call my hero a junk pile?
No. Well,
yep.
no, she...
Yep.
I guess she is kind of the junk pile.
All right. Now I
Alright.
just have to name her.
Yeah.
Laura.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They like using the leet speak there, as the kids say.
All right. Well, what's an old lady name?
Oh, Ethel. Are you going with Gertrude?
or Gertie.
Gertie?
would
Gertie?
be cute.
Gertie? Okay, I like
Should this
Gertie.
be a 1?
Oh, yeah, probably. Or Gert13, as people call her for short.
Oh yeah, cute. Now her, wait, nickname? Last/nickname?
Yeah, so it could be like Gertie Smith, or it could be like Gertie Worldbreaker, or something.
Oh.
So it's like
Gertie Junk Pile.
Gertie Junk Pile, all lowercase.
No.
Did their parents have a fight about her name? The name must contain at least one character. You can have a 1-character last name.
Okay, well, this character, she's been around for a long time and she knows a lot, so she's like worldly and like knowledgeable and
Is she like, does she use that knowledge for benevolence? I mean, she's Sci-Number, so is it like a nihilism version of this, or is she good and she's just using?
Are your people good?
Void. My people are pragmatic, neutral.
Okay.
The builders is the My Galactic Empire. They're trying to rebuild the galaxy after the fall of the Star Union, so they don't necessarily have a particular dogma other than reestablish like order.
Yeah.
So maybe
Well,
like
I don't
neutral.
really have any good ideas, so I'm just gonna give her a last name.
Okay, so we have an idea. What did you come up with? Gertie
Badger.
Gertie Badger?
That's her name.
Okay, why is she named Gertie Badger?
I don't know. She just reminds me of a badger.
Okay.
Like big and tough, but also can I change this?
And her skin is loose on her.
What?
Well, like a badger. They have like loose skin, so that if something bites them, they can wriggle out of it.
Incorrect. Oh
no,
my
it's
goodness.
true. They're like invulnerable. Yeah, symbol colors.
Are there any badgers?
That seems oddly specific, but I guess
Maybe
I
there's
can't say for
something
sure.
that... Oh, here's a paw.
Okay.
This looks kind of like a dog mouth, like a saber tooth.
Okay.
Let's just pick that for now. Yep. Gertie
Okay,
Badger.
So we got Gertie Badger with a like saber tooth mouth, fanged mouth. Now, what about the colors? Are you okay with the colors? Green on black on green?
Oh, this changes her armor too.
Because they wear their faction's color. So that purple is nice.
The green really went with everything though. Well, badgers are black and gray. She looks kind of dull though. This is tough.
This is why people make episode zeros. It's because you expect to play the game, but instead you just look at all the options and talk about them for 30 minutes.
Alright. I'd like to formally introduce y'all to Gertie Badger.
Gertie Badger. Okay.
Who's yellow and black.
All right. So is she world weary, knowledgeable, or more like a kindly elder?
I'd say she's probably a little bit more ruthless.
Okay.
Like, she's seen it all. She knows what has to be done. And she's gonna do it.
Like a badger.
Exactly like a badger.
Exactly like a badger. So was she born Gertie Badger, or is this a name that she took up eventually?
Yeah, she's been alive so long that nobody remembers what her last name is anymore.
Including her?
Yeah, for a while she was Gertie the Badger, but then it just got confused with her real last name. It's like, oh, now she's just Gertie Badger.
Okay. Gertie Badger.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to look at the portrait options up here? You can kind of change the way she looks in her little unit card. That one where she's looking straight on makes her look older.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, it's ominous.
Yeah, actually, it does kind of fit.
She looks more zombie-like in that one than the other images.
I like this one because she looks so strong.
Yeah, she does.
I'm gonna go with this one.
she's not wearing armor. She is the armor. Look, she's got, I mean, how much biological material is in this person? I mean, there's a head and everything else is metal. That's it, which is really cool because if you've ever seen the assembly, you know, all the factions can get piloting and then get in different types of vehicles, but when you're the assembly, you don't get in a vehicle, you become the vehicle. They basically pop the unit's head off of the model and place it on the vehicle, because the assembly don't have any mechanical units. They're all cyborgs, so even like their ships, you know, their airships and their giant like guns that are walking around on 3 legs, those aren't mechanical units. They're cyborgs. They're living creatures,
that's cool.
with like a person attached to it, and that's their body, which is really, really fun. Okay, so we have Gertie Badger all set to go. I will select the Imperial Renown items, the units, operations, and mods, and then we will get going down onto the planet. Thank you, Annie, so much for joining and helping me customize Gertie Badger.
I love her.
I love her too, and I'm excited to use her. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
So, Gertie Badger might be a world-weary ancient woman with a lot of knowledge and pragmatism, but not all of these assemblies strategies are going to be so old. What we're going to do is we're actually going to bring in the penguins from Spirit Rise that we unlocked. So we're going to recreate those penguins. They have captured and militarized the edgelord penguins of Spirit Rise with their Cynumbra mods, and they're going to bring them on over into this planet, and we're going to kick some butt with our penguins. Penguins are the first unit we're going to be grabbing. The other options we have, so we want anything with entropic or arc or kinetic. So we have some kinetic here. There might be a little bit of overlap here, but really I want to be putting Cynumbra mods on here because I think it's funny. So do we want anything with kinetic? What else can we get? What is a Voradon? I think we talked about this last time and I wasn't sure what it was. Voradon. Claw Strike and Devour. That's pretty cool. Wild Bombardrons. We can get some syndicate things like Indentured that have arc, but we don't really need that. We do have the Electrocutioner, so I'm not super worried about ranged arc damage. Kirko aren't going to fit in super well, except, well, some of them because of the biochemical, but things like the Hidden with the psionic attacks, that could work really well for us. We do have a lot of psionic capabilities are going to be available to us. Now, none of our assembly stuff is going to fit super well in with this Hidden. I'm sure there's a few, but mostly Cynumbra. So maybe I'll go ahead and pull in these Hidden. Or should I go with something really big, like a Pteranodon? Voradon is exciting. I think we'll pull in the early stuff. Let's pull in the early stuff. Let's pull in a Hidden and a Penguin. And then we're going to have Tier 2 range and melee brought in from other planets, basically, which is pretty cool. So operations-wise, we have a lot of really cool stuff. Honestly, dispelling negative status effects on every friendly unit within a 1 hex radius, this is just so good. It's just unbelievable, and I think I just need to pull that one in for now. What else do we want to pull in? Laser Strike is always a good one. Soul Burn is not going to be super helpful. Target friendly unit with an explosive attack gains range and damage. Now, we're not going to have a lot of that. Target unit gains armor and is healed for 20. That's not bad. Cleansing Light. This is better when we have enlightened units, which we're not going to have much of at all. We may have like one hero, basically when Tarvok Skybound flies in to help out. So maybe we'll go with Breach Protection Protocol. That's a pretty versatile one. The defenses plus the healing is definitely a lifesaver, especially with Assembly, who tends to get in to medium range or close range. So go ahead and pull that one on in. And then mod-wise, what do we want to bring in? Do we have anything with Cynumbra things? These are in this. Are these in the Psionic tree? I don't really want to bring those in if I already have them. Ironbreaker. I love Ironbreaker. I could put those on the penguins and then they could just smack right through everything. Walk through obstacles and is harder to hit in combat. That could work well with a lot of our units. Gains 1 shield. Penguins naturally have 3 armor and no shield. Let's just pull in the phase walk modulator. That's something that we can use. So we're ready to launch the game here. We've got Gertie Badger, the Assembly Cynumbra commander. She's going to be bringing in Kirko snipers as a powerful range support unit that can do big damage and bypass armor. But they're going to be bad against vehicles. And then we're going to bring in these penguins who we're going to mod up with Cynumbra things to make them edgy and scary. We've got our really powerful cleansing pulse ability, a heal, and an armor operation here, which is very versatile. And we've got our phase walk modulator, so we can give units, particularly melee units, the ability to run through obstacles, get to enemies easily, and make them a little harder to hit. That'll be useful on like the penguins or even our scavengers or something. So take us a little bit to get this Imperial Renown. Don't know what order I'll do these in, but we can probably get the Imperial Renown fairly quickly. All we have to do is get to the hazard removal tech, and then we can start unlocking these things. So let's launch the game.
Greetings, emissary of the Assembly. Destruction breeds creation, that is certain. From the ruins of the Empire, your unique kind has emerged. You forged unity by merging with machines and transplanting the body parts of your enemies. Before you reassemble this entire shattered galaxy, remember that every world has life worth preserving. Not all beings are servile. You will face resistance.
Okay, so this planet has 61% water, which is fairly high, I'd say. So we're probably on continents, smaller continents with quite a bit of water. So I'm guessing, the poles are going to be water, and then there's probably going to be a couple of large oceans in there somewhere. Only 39% water, so only 39% land, so not a whole lot of space for building. So we will want to get into aquatic stuff early, probably, and make sure we have a good naval force to clear out all of that stuff and get all those perks. There's usually some good cosmite nodes in the water guarded by some powerful groups of chalices and submarines and that kind of stuff. So we'll take a look. So let's launch the game. Oh man, it is good to be back to Planetfall. Okay, so let's see what our starting techs are. Foreboding Darkness.
Open their wounds, fix their pleas on vengeance, call light darkness, blind their eyes with injustice, eclipse the sun, deny it purpose, choke out their hopes with ashes of despair. They disbelieve daylight, gloom is their haven. G3RT of House Ardeli.
What in the world is wrong with this guy? Okay, so we started with Mark of the Dark Sun. Each time this unit deals a killing blow, they gain Dark Reward, increasing their damage by 10% per stack to a maximum of 6 stacks. Also gives them more damage. This is a tough one to use because there aren't typically a lot of opportunities to kill a whole bunch of units before the battle is over. So I feel like it's hard to make use of this one, but it does give 20% damage. So that's not bad. Embrace of Darkness, tactical operation. Target enemy units takes 20 psi-number damage and faces or psionic damage and suffers massive impact. There's also a chance to apply Broken Mind. Now this is a powerful just single target hit. I mean, this is good. This is just dark laser strike basically. So that's a great one to start with. We also started with Whispers and Visions.
Stare into the darkness and hush.
Summon a Whisper.
There is no light, but I perceive motion. Something lurks in the...
And we got an operation that will let us hit...
Operations available for priming.
Right. An operation that'll let us damage a stack on the world map and give them minus morale. So we actually started with some really good stuff. We started with 2 things in our secret tech tree, which is really cool. So we've got some good options right from the start. That will mean we'll have to start off with some of the basic early researches, but we have these fun things to play with right away. So let's take a look at our starting area, our starting units, and then we'll call this episode to a close. And this one will be an episode 0, basically, for this particular faction, this particular planet. So let's just scroll out a little bit and see where we are. So no idea where the poles are, really. Okay, we're sort of probably in a temperate-ish area of the map, but with the planet being so spore-infested and green, we may be near the poles. We won't know for sure. Looks like we've got some water right off the bat around us. We might be on an island or a small continent of some kind. There's a little land bridge here. Have to see how far out that goes. We have Therians on the planet. Those will synergize okay with us. We will have some kinetic options, and they have these bouncers, these prowlers, so that'll work out okay. The Apex is probably something we could make good use of with some kinetic mods and some psi-number mods, so that's something we could look forward to. No sign of our other minor faction on the planet. Probably 2. Every once in a while there's 3. I don't understand why sometimes there's 3 and sometimes there's 2. Seems like it happens kind of randomly. Doesn't Sometimes it doesn't seem to matter how many players are on the planet, but we only had it happen a couple times, so we'll see what happens. So starting units, we have our scout. These scouts are very cool because they have a heal for 20, and they can do it on cyborg or mechanical units, which is very cool, once per battle. And they have all-around awareness, they can't be flanked, and they have farsight, so they see one vision range further than other units, including some other scouts they can see further than, which is pretty cool. So these are very useful scouts. This is one of the few scouts I'll actually keep in the army for quite a while because they're so versatile. Not a whole lot of damage, but I mean, it's not bad. 7 range, 7 repeating, so no other abilities to speak of, to be honest, but it's a very cool unit, actually, and it looks awesome. I mean, look at it. It's just a bunch of, I don't know, like dead people. I guess they're alive. That's messed up, actually. What are you guys doing? God, okay. And looks like there's like a blade on his hand, too. Very strange. Very strange unit. So here's our commander. Gertie Badger, of course. She started with a jetpack, an old jetpack. She's got Soul Splitter, which is just a single-action rifle that does a fair amount of damage. Will bypass armor because it's psionic damage. Big chance to apply Broken Mind. Only range 5, though, so that'll make the jetpack come in handy. Also gives us a shield, which is good, a little bit more defenses. We've got the Psi Stones of Dissonance, short-range cone attack that deals psionic damage to all units. 85% accuracy, a little bit lower, but 9 damage. High impact stagger, bypasses armor. So we do have some cool options here with jumping in and getting shots or a cone attack off here. We have arc resistance, 7 status effect resistance, mind control immunity, and we've got our other assembly perks. Now assembly have a couple of really cool perks. They have, after a battle, they heal 6 extra health. So they don't heal 6 per turn, they just heal 6 after a battle. So that helps them stay a little healthier after a battle where everybody's taken some damage. And then the really cool thing about the assembly is that their long-term bonus, which is very powerful, is that their units do not have to wait for mods to be applied. If you apply a mod, it happens instantly. You pay the cost, and instead of waiting 1 to 2 turns for it to activate and them getting that debuff where they have to wait, they get it right away, which is very, very powerful. So you can mod units up on the fly for the situation if there's an emergency, or you just generally don't have to wait. Very, very nice. So our other units we start with is, here's our Tier 2 Secret Tech unit we start with, an Initiate. This one has this single-action Soul Spear, kind of like that same weapon that our hero has, the Soul Splitter. They just have they just throw this kind of dark energy. They have Devour Hope. They can heal themselves and make an enemy filled with despair, or do Broken Mind. Let's see, Flanker. They do a lot of extra damage when flanking. That's exciting. When this unit dies, they return as an Echo of Despair, so that's sort of a consolation prize if you lose your Initiate. And because they're assembly, this is actually a cyborg instead of a regular biological version of this, which is kind of cool, so they'll synergize with all of our cyborg stuff. We can heal them and such. We start with a Vorpal Sniper, who has a cool color scheme with that green. That's neat. We have a Vorpal Shot, full action, 16 damage, massive impact, and has a higher critical chance, good against air units. This is a concussive shot, which can do concussion, which is basically a stun. Very powerful. Not a great chance, but still useful against lower tier units. Snapshot, this is if you don't have all 3 of your action points, you can just do something, but it has a chance to blind. So pretty fun unit. The only gripe I have about this sniper is how long the animation is for the shots, which we'll see in the next episode when we start some combats up. It takes them forever to get into position to actually shoot. These are our Tier 1 basic infantry, Scavengers. You'll see a lot of these because this is what we'll be using for a while. Why are they so wiggly? Very wiggly. Kind of uncomfortable. These guys are hybrid units. They're melee, so they run in and slash and heal themselves, which is very strong. And they do have this shotgun blast so that they can take things out from a little bit of a distance. It's pretty good. 16 damage is not bad. 45 health and 2 armor, so pretty basic. They have the Assimilate so that they can heal for 4 each time they hit something. That's non-mineral and non-ethereal. So that's biological, cyborg, mechanical. So they can rend and tear pieces off of almost anything to heal themselves back up. They just put it on their bodies and regenerate, which is really, really fun. This ability used to be 6. So they used to slash for this repeating damage and heal for 6, and it was way too strong. They nerfed it down to 3, and then it was too weak, and then here we are at 4, which seems like a nice balance. And then we have a second scout in this army, so we'll probably keep this one in there as a combat unit, send this one out to start grabbing pickups, figure out what's going on in the world, and find where we want to start expanding to. So that is everything we need to know to get started. We don't have any doctrines available to cast because we didn't start with anything unlocked, but we'll get there. And we're going to go off and start speaking to our secondary factions, checking out all the world, looking for Cosmite sites. We'll see where those giant Devar players are. That's going to be an interesting thing. And see if we can make friends with them. So thank you everybody so much for watching. This is going to be a really fun planet. I'm excited to bring our penguins in from Spirit Rise. Now that we've tamed them, we've got control of them finally, so we can use them against our enemies. So I will see everybody in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing.